We're back at it.
What's happening, babies?
The road is interesting this week.
Back in one of my hot spots, Orlando, Florida, nigga. Oh, baby. This is a good one. I'm digging it. We're in Orlando, Florida. Let's get right in.
Are we going to say where we are next week so they know?
Where are we next week?
We're at Stress Factory
Oh, shit.
in Jersey.
Jersey.
And then we're on a break, so...
There was a little bit of a break because we were supposed to do Portland, but COVID shut Portland down.
Portland shut Portland down, but... yeah, so we'll be in Vinnie Brand Stress Factory.
Vinnie Brand Stress Factory.
Brunswick, New Jersey.
In New Jersey. Oh, what about a bang? Paulie and Christopher. Adriana.
So, yeah, come check us out there next week.
Uncle June, this is a cash business. I don't want you selling coke in those fucking garbage roads. Janish. All right.
And Vinny put up a nice tent. It's outside. It's as protected for COVID as we can be. Yeah.
Rutgers.
Yeah.
You ever been to Cluck You Chicken?
No.
That's a staple out in Rutgers.
Yeah. We gonna go?
I think so, but what I'm most excited about, East Village Pizza. I constantly see this shit on Instagram. The pepperoni looks the pepperoniest. The cheese looks the cheesiest. And you know how that good pizza has that tan glow? Like when it's the perfect mixture of cheese and oil. It has the perfect, like sometimes you see pizza where the cheese is just notebook paper white.
Yeah, when it just looks like they just threw it on melted.
Threw it on melted. But this has the fucking 65-year-old white woman from Florida tan. Like it just has, she's not black, but she's got the perfect Sophia Loren crisp. It's the perfect Sophia Loren golden brown. I can't wait, man. East Village Pizza in New York. You say you live near there.
I get on the path. I'm on path and a quick train stop away.
Okay.
So
we definitely gonna hit that up.
We're gonna go there.
Dude, I had the dream of all dreams last night. Dude, I had a dream that, and for those of you who know this podcast and have listened to it as much as you have, where you've heard me talk about my baby mother and my ex-wife. I had a dream that my baby mother and my ex-wife and me all lived together happily, like Three's Company. Like I was John Ritter, and we were all living together, and they finally accepted each other and accepted that I love them, they love me, and we should just make it happen. And we live in a big mansion, which is why I'm convinced that when you have enough money, people will accept shit. If the mansion's big enough, they will finally end their Israel-Palestine beef.
Okay.
We could be together.
Do you think really that's the case? So if you had that much money, you think you could make that work out like that?
Yes, I really do.
Would you move to Utah?
No.
Well,
no.
Because you could just do that in Utah.
No, I'm not talking marriage. I'm just talking about straight roommates, 2 girlfriends, 1 boyfriend. There was bunk beds, and I would alternate who I slept with. Like my baby mother sleep on the bottom, my ex-wife sleeps on the top. So Monday I sleep in the bed, bottom bunk with my baby mother, and the ex-wife sleeps on the top. Then Tuesday reverse, and Monday through Sunday I get to sleep with both of them. And my mother brokered the deal. My mother, we had her on speakerphone, and me, my baby mother, and my ex-wife all held hands in a circle, and my mother gave us the blessing.
If your mom could pull that off, you should make her your agent.
Could be. And here was the thing, dude. It was one of those dreams that felt so real. And at one point, we graduated from bunk bed alternation sex to 1 bed. And it was the first time we were going to do a threesome. And we were going to christen the threesome by sleeping together all for the first time. Andy, my dick was harder than a frozen soda can. I swear to God. But here's the thing. Upon getting ready to do the threesome, I knocked over my sildenafil pills, my dick pills. And the pills fell into a puddle of water and started to dissolve. Now, why I had a puddle of water in my bedroom, that's dream shit. Dreams are weird. You could be holding hands with somebody walking down the street, and then a bear riding a unicorn comes into the dream, and it doesn't make sense. So I don't know why I had a pull of water. But anyway, the pills dissolved, and I was like, no. And that's when I woke up, and the air in my dick, like a balloon, went out. And I tried so hard to make myself go back to sleep so I could finish this threesome. But by that time, I had to piss and get up, so it was over.
I think that it's metaphoric is what those things in your dreams are, like the puddle of water. And the puddle of water was letting you know that those are your tears. And if you ever made this work out and come together, your dick ain't going to work anymore anyway. So they're going to have a great relationship. And
they just turn into two lesbians.
And you're just there because that puddle of water, that's your tears. And the medicine dissolved in your tears because it's no longer going to work. And so you're standing there, and you finally got everything you wanted. You're two girls, but now your dick don't work.
Yeah, you need to lay off the gummies, nigga. So that was my dream, man. I don't know why I felt the need to share that, but that was my dream. Before we get into what we're gonna get into, dude, I gotta tell you this funny story. I saw my man comedian Bill Bellamy tell, because we're gonna talk about the 30 for 30 ESPN joint, Goin Broke. But as a good segue into sports and all of that, I gotta tell this story, man. I was watching Instagram, and Bill Bellamy tells this story where he goes, when I was doing Any Given Sunday, Jim Brown was in that movie. He was one of the coaches, remember? And he goes, Jim Brown, we're getting ready to shoot a scene where we're supposed to be practicing or something. And so there's a mixture of obviously actors and real football players. And some of the football players was college kids going into the pros. And these some big Alabama country eating niggas.
Full size.
Big, strong, full size young men. And he said, first of all, Jim Brown wears a kufi and flip-flops. And at one point, Jim Brown was fucking with the young boys. And like when they would be standing around and they had their hands on their hips, he would knock their hands off their hips and be like, you young pussy motherfucker. You couldn't fuck with me. You think you fast? I'm fucking fast. I'll bust your ass and blah, blah, blah. And one of the dudes he did this to did not know who Jim Brown was. So he was like, and Bill was telling, he goes, the young dude was like, hey man, who that fuck boy, man? That's some fuck boy shit, man. And he said, that's how them Florida niggas talk. So he said, the old motherfucker better not fuck with me. I don't fuck around with that fuck boy shit. So then Jim Brown came and he tried to do it again. And the young dude picked Jim Brown up over his head and body slammed him. And he said it was crazy because everybody went, oh. And he was like, nigga, Jim Brown's kufi was over there. One of his flip-flops was over there. And he said as Jim Brown was getting up, he was like disheveled, trying to get himself together. He was like, well, you can't even play with these young niggas no more. And I thought to myself, as hilariously tragic as that is, how do you not know who Jim Brown is? A football, and this is Bill's words, legend / activist. How do you not know who Jim Brown is?
Especially if you're a football player.
If you're a football player.
Yeah, how is that not possible?
That's like in any genre of sport that you're in. Football, basketball, that's like being in basketball and not knowing who MJ is. That's like being in baseball and not knowing who, I'm not a real baseball guy, I want to say Babe Ruth.
That's fair because that's the oldest one, but that reference still holds up.
But somebody prominent in baseball, in any sport, hockey, and not know who Wayne Gretzky. And I just kind of thought, to some degree, what a level of disrespect. Would you think that you'd have to educate yourself on this shit? Like you would want to know who the greats are? Like, nigga, and even if that wasn't your era, that means you have not done your homework. Somebody, your father, your uncle, somebody should have grabbed you and, nigga, that's Jim Brown. Let me teach you something. Come watch this.
And that's why young dudes don't understand that Jordan's the GOAT. They don't watch this.
Well, that story was a treat.
He told it on a special?
No. He was in a restaurant and he just recorded himself with some friends and he told the story. No, it wasn't in his stand-up. Huh. Yeah, I wouldn't put it out there like that.
No, well, you're just telling the story.
Yeah, you just telling the story. But I just was like, because as respectable as Jim Brown was and is, given his history and that famous photo with him and Kareem and Muhammad Ali and who else was it? Bill Russell.
Yeah.
during the 60s, when they did what they did at that time. That's an iconic photo. So despite his greats and what he did on the field, but there's that too. I just thought that was sad but funny.
It is sad because it is sad in multiple ways, man.
Right.
But the way you described it, it was.
But yeah, because the way he did it when Bill was like, he really was like, damn, you can't even play with these young niggas no more. Damn. And listen, a young Jim Brown in his football years, his prime, was somebody you didn't want to fuck with. He just had that exterior, that mental makeup. That was the last of the real don't fuck with me black men.
Well, you would have to not know who he is to be able to fuck with him, because I still think he commands that kind of respect when he walks into the room.
Yes, but his body can't hold up to what he used to do.
But if you knew who he was,
right,
you wouldn't even think about that.
Right. Okay. 30 for 30, Goin Broke. What'd you think of it?
I liked it. I saw it before. It's a good special, but when you listen to these guys, even if they're upbeat, even if they're doing better now, it's sad, man. It's sad how you can hear the heartbreak in them when they talk about certain things.
Right. The current trend was always a lot of times these young athletes, and this doesn't just go for athletes. I think it goes for all facets of entertainment, because this is such a high-paying business. One, you don't ever think the money's going to run out. And regardless as to what your career span is, the bottom line is you're supposed to be smart with your money. Now, here's the thing. If even when you're a prime time great athlete, your window for opportunity is only so.
It's a window. It's not a door.
Yeah, it's not a door. And I think the lifespan for football is far less than basketball.
Far less.
Far less.
What did they say the average in there? 3.5? No,
I think so.
2.5.
Average.
Yeah, I guess average 3.5 years.
But at the end of the day, it's like, even when you look at what you get in acting, if you're an iconic star, the Pacinos, the De Niros, where you kind of, technically there are no guarantees, but you're so solidified, unless you do something heinous, to get your career fucked up, you're going to work. And when you're making that kind of money, unless you just are a complete idiot, it's hard to blow it. But it feels like with these athletes, part of it is the ego. Like they really believe they're going to play forever. And what's scary about this is, like, look, take $2 million, for instance. Now, I'm talking about in acting terms, but take $2 million. First of all, the government's getting half. So that's $1 million going.
Million.
You got $1 million. Between your agent and your manager, that's 10% apiece. That's 20%. 70% of your money from $2 million.
But can you explain to people that that 20% that you're talking about doesn't come off the $1 million you have left?
Right, it comes off the $2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you give the government $1 million.
$1 million.
And then they still want that 20% comes off that total.
Yeah.
So you double lose on your $1 million that you get.
Put it like this, 70%. And by the time that 70% is taken, you're left with $600,000.
Yeah.
Something about that is so insane to me. To me, it's terrorism. Like you don't even get to keep half your shit. You get to keep less than half your shit. Out of $2 million, $600,000.
But you can get a lot of that back from the government if you know how the system, how to work that system. That's part of the problem, because it's just not a flat rate. It's a system that you have to go into. That's when you put your moving expenses in, the house you bought, everything that you do to lose money,
right? So
that you can get the money back, part of that $1 million that the government took.
Right.
So it's very interesting. Did you hear all the parts about not coming out of college, not educated on how to handle money?
Yeah.
No one comes out of school. What if they really if the people that were in charge of this country really wanted you to understand money, they would make that a priority in school.
Oh, well, how many memes can you find on Instagram where it says, here's what school won't teach you?
Right.
And money and how to, save and investments and portfolios. And so, and again, a lot of these dudes come out of poverty And like some of them said, yo, when I got my first check, I ain't even cash it. I framed it.
Yeah. Well, and also I think it's interesting too, when you're talking about the long term of having over a career, whether it's 3 years or 10 years, and not thinking the money's going to run out. I like how they said it in the NFL. And I didn't know this. The NFL pays you for the season. They break it up on what you get per game. So they expect you to be able to pay for your bills during the off season.
Right.
You would think that if the first time you learned that you didn't know how to pay your bills through the off season, like, okay, the season's over, I don't have any money. That's when there should be the league or something should have something that kicks in that goes, okay, we need to help you at least understand this. Maybe not the league, but the league sends you to a course outside.
Well, when they would show those courses where, I forget what the Herman something, the one coach from Herman something. I'm not a football dude.
No, I would remember his name if I didn't try to pull it up, but I'll remember it as we go on.
But yeah, they would show where he would give courses, and he'd be on a platform and a stage trying to teach these young dudes about that. And I'm wondering, did the NFL make that happen, or that's something the coaches are doing on their own?
Well, the coaches can help it. I think that he went into the NFL and he was teaching classes on the whole new. From what I remember from understanding from reading about him, he put together a course that was mandated that the new players coming from college all had to take this course on money. So to prevent some of these things from happening.
Right.
But it really is astonishing that in elementary school that you're not learning about money. In junior high school, in high school, you're not learning about money.
This is why I said before, when you really think about it, school's a waste of time. Other than basic arithmetic, writing, what else is there?
I mean, you should know your history. You should
which a lot of it, unless you're on Jeopardy, is useless.
No.
We're talking about things that are useful in preparing you for life. That's what school is supposed to do.
There should
prepare you for life.
More focus on what you need in life. The periodic table may not be the thing that you need.
Right. Geometry. When do you use that?
It depends on what your skill. But see, this is what we don't do. We don't measure. And this is kind of how I thought maybe they should redo school, because school hasn't been done since retaught since we entered an age of what's it called, we warehouse students. I forget, there's a real word for it. I'm an idiot though. But where school's been taught the same way, where we're in rows and there's a board and you're taught. That's the direction that school's taught, because it's like how business used to be set up. It was structured to be that way.
Right.
But we are living in a completely new world, and the idea that we have computers in our home and access to internet, and we can get information at a moment's notice. We don't learn the same way anymore. But the schools are still set up for how we learned in the early 1900s. Why would we be learning that way anymore? That's the thing that has to change. And I think it's funny, as you just said, that we don't. If there was testing to go on and you saw your students were good at something, that would be the direction that we want to teach students, because they would be interested in it. Not everybody's going to be a scientist, but if you were good at science, wouldn't that be great if they knew that when you were in high school and they really pushed you towards that in high school?
Right.
Instead of pushing someone who has nothing to do with science, it's going to be in the arts and he's learning science.
Right.
So it's that's the waste of time part that you're talking about.
Like $2 million on paper, and when you hear it, sounds sexy.
It is.
Ooh. But when you take all that shit off, I'm still going $600,000. Now, to the average Joe, that's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
But in perspective from what's on paper, that's robbery.
But it's not a lot of money if you entered the whatever your chosen sports field is, and you became a professional, and you only have $600,000, and you thought you were going to be able to buy a house, buy your parents a house, get a car, and then by the time you try to get some of the things that your other friends have, you're broke.
Well, listen, here's the black starter kit when you get into the league and you get money. You get your mama a house, you get yourself a house, you got to get a nice car or two, and a shitload of jewelry. And $600,000 don't cover all of that. So like they were saying, a lot of those athletes buy all that shit, you're already in the red.
Yeah, you're making payments, and you're not going to get paid for the off season.
Jesus. Look, dude, there was one point where it said, and this is some of the silly shit that kills me. Des Bryant, a $50,000 restaurant tab. And I'm going, who the fuck that night ate with him? The city he's playing for? The whole city? Why are you running up a $50,000 dinner tab? Who the fuck are you eating? What are you eating, nigga? Humans? What the fuck? I'm 50. I can't even think of. That's gotta be everybody with their own bottle of Cristal.
Yeah.
Or what's that one drink that costs $1,500 a bottle? Louis the 18th or Louis
Trez.
That. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Dude, see, and this is where it is different, because if you're a young dude and you get caught up in that moment, like the quarterback who's been playing for 8 years, he should do that. He should take out the team and spend.
Because he's got the most money?
Because, well, he's getting paid. He has an extended career. He has money. I know that a lot of the quarterbacks buy their offensive linemen like a special gift because they kept them standing in the season.
Right.
And not all quarterbacks have that kind of money, but if you've been in the league a long time, you've had money, you have a team that's because the quarterback who's going to get the reward the most, they're the ones getting the $20 million a year. They owe it to the team if they're making that kind of money consistently.
Right.
But again, like you said, all the other contracts, basketball is guaranteed, baseball is guaranteed, but football, the sport that has the quickest career, I mean, your career ends the quickest, it has no guaranteed contract. So you go in, you could maybe get that, even that, you get the, what do they call that? The guaranteed money, the upfront money, the bonus.
The bonus, right.
Yeah, that money's guaranteed. So if you don't get a big guarantee, you could be out. I know that they said, you said 3.5 years was the average, but that's factoring in people who don't take a beating. That's taking like the quarterbacks that they usually can play a longer career. Certain positions like the cornerback can play, sometimes have a longer career. Different positions have longer careers. But a friend of mine that played defensive line, he said the average is 2 years. And to get your pension, you need 3. So if you're not in it for 3 years, you don't even get anything. You get an injury and you're out the game.
Right.
So.
And listen, I was happy to see, because when I started to watch this, I just knew gonna be a bunch of niggas on this. Because again, the starter kit, the homes, the jewelry, the cars, we are always trying to impress, keep up with the Joneses. But I was like, oh, thank God there's white guys on this too. White guys fuck up like this too. Because they showed, what's my man name from Boston with the bloody sock?
Oh, Kurt Schilling.
I was shocked to see him on there.
No, I knew about that because he played in Arizona, so I knew that he had that company.
Right.
But when he went out, now he went out because of his business was bad.
Oh, see.
He went out because he lost millions of dollars on his business, but
that's a way to lose, though, right? If there's a proper way to lose.
Well, he didn't lose it because he poorly managed his NFL money. He poorly managed his business money. He kept putting money into his business,
right?
And that's how he had a video entertainment business for like gaming.
Okay.
And that that's you're kind of getting involved in some of that kind of stuff right now. You know how expensive that is to keep that stuff moving.
Right.
That's how he lost all his money.
Well, like Denzel said, if you're gonna fail going forward. So again, I hate the because that's the stereotype. Is that black dudes with the jewelry and the cars and the flash and the bottles and all of that. That's why we go broke.
But I don't want to get ahead of myself on what we're going to talk about today, but we both received I just want to touch on this a little bit, and we can go back to it later because we're going to talk about this on our next episode. But we got an IG post from someone who sent us some direct message about our look and that you weren't establishing the proper look for the black community, to market towards the black community. And that seems to be, you say you didn't want it to be all black dudes on this, but here's just an average guy. I don't know the guy, but just sends, dude, where's your chain, man? Where's your suit? Why aren't you getting suited up for this
podcast? My gators, where's my gators and my loud peach-colored Steve Harvey suit?
So,
look, we're 2 dudes in a fucking hotel room, nigga. I am not about to fucking glamorize my goddamn self sitting in a goddamn hotel room. And to be honest with you, I'm about to turn the air on because I'm beating up with sweat here because it's hot. So what the fuck you want me to do?
Dude, at least get a grill, man. Represent.
What was the white dude, and his story almost was sad to me.
That was the
Kozar.
Bernie Kosar.
And he was the quarterback for Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one was really sad to me because this was like parental abuse.
Yes. The old, what you talking about, Willis?
This was bad.
Never let your family, and there's certain trends that continue here. Friends and family, well, LeBron does it right because his 5 childhood buddies run his companies.
Yeah. But they were qualified to run his company.
Were they?
I think that he made sure that they were qualified to run his company.
So there are exceptions to the rule, but most times friends and family don't mix with your business. And his dad was mismanaging money.
His dad took care of his dad.
Damn. This is what I'm saying, dude. That's why I always, there's a power, there's something with money. It makes shit happen, be it good or bad. Something about money makes motherfuckers, there's a snap that goes off in your head when you go from nothing to everything possible.
Okay, but then this goes back to what, we've had this argument on here. Money is a problem. As much as
it can be.
No, it is. If you don't see it for what it is, it's a problem. You have to know how to manage it, how to take care of it, how to build it, how to collect it, how to put it together. Otherwise, it's a problem. Especially the more of it you get causes you more problems. Because like you just said,
but again, isn't that something that you can control? If you can control it and you're smart with it, it's not a problem.
Okay, but if you bought a collector's car, and you say, okay, it has value, it's worth it, but it's a problem. You mean you got to take care of it, you got to maintain it. It doesn't come with a warranty. It has to be maintained. Money's the same way. It comes with problems. Let's put it that way. It's not the problem. It comes with problems. You have to be willing to manage those problems.
Yeah, but why would you get a collector's car knowing that there's a burden to it?
Well, why would you get money knowing there's a burden to it?
But I don't believe there's a burden to it if you do it right.
If you do it right, but you have to know how to do it right. That's the burden. That's the problems that come with it. How to manage it, how to pay your taxes, how to make sure that you're covered.
Well, that comes with education.
But that is...
And putting the right people in place.
But that's still, as anything else, it's a problem. You have to be able to problem solve to make sure that you are in the right place. Money doesn't, what I mean is money just, you can't just drop money on someone and say, look, your problems are solved.
Speaking of dropping money on someone, again, one of the things they said, I read this recently where they said something about Allen Iverson would go to the strip club and drop $40K. Motherfuckers making it rain. Again, there are things that people do where I go, maybe if I was really in my youth and came across that kind of money, I would have made those kinds of mistakes. But certainly now, I'm going, I don't need to make it rain $100 bills. I'm having a problem with a stack of bills, ones. Why am I shooting $100? For what? To impress who? And listen, if I'm gonna make it rain Franklin's, I gotta get some pussy. Well, I'm not just doing that to just do it and then leave the club just because I can.
I'm sure it came with pussy.
Sometimes it may have, but some of them dudes would do that shit just to do it. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous,
dude. I'm gonna tell a quick story. When I
go ahead. I gotta turn this camera on.
When I had money, when I had a bunch of money and I was doing well and I was young, I didn't do it at a strip club. I went to it was during Christmas season. I went to the mall and I threw a few $100s in ones and fives down to like the kids area where the kids were playing.
Yeah.
And off the third floor down to the first floor, I threw like $300 to $500.
Really?
Down.
And what made you do that?
I wanted the little kids because I had this money.
Right.
I want the little kids that were down there to have money for Christmas.
So you was like the Jew Saint Nick.
Yeah, I just threw ones and fives.
And what he's not
I think it was $300.
And what he's not telling you is that shortly after he went and picked that shit back up. put it in his pocket.
No, I was afraid
he was a true Jew.
I was afraid I was going to get in trouble, so we threw
Really?
it and we left the mall.
Right.
But there is some feeling about that, to deliver money in a way like,
Right.
I don't care about this, you can have it kind of feeling.
I guess. I'm of the belief that if I give you something in terms of money, I gotta get something back. Something feel that, again, that's why I'm not a gambler. When I go to Vegas, yeah, for shits and giggles, I might play a little bit of blackjack, but I don't really like blackjack because it feels like you just lose it too easy, too fast. I'm a roulette guy because you could sit there for a long time, you could spread the chips, and roulette just feels like it's the type of game where I could play for 30 minutes to an hour, and even if I lose, unless I'm betting ridiculous, I ain't really lose. I might lose a couple bucks. But the idea of, here's my money, I lose it, I walk away with nothing, that feels empty to me.
Dude, when we played blackjack, you won money.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the winning part is always fun. That's the allure. You don't want to get up from the table when you're winning.
Yeah.
But the idea that you could just go, boom, here's this money, and if it's a high bet, boom, in 1 second, gone.
But first of all, the odds always favor the house.
Yeah, of course.
But if you have $1 billion, losing a $5 bet isn't going to do anything. It doesn't give you any.
I would have to be that dude. I would have to have so much money that $5 is a nickel to me.
I don't even think it's a nickel if you're a billionaire.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like we
so
just,
that's what I mean. But they have to bet. If they don't lose $1 million, they didn't feel like they.
But isn't that part of the rush too? Is that when you have that kind of money, now you got to sit at the table where you're betting $1 million a hand.
So you
Otherwise,
can feel it,
right?
Because there's no excitement to it.
Yeah. See, that's a dangerous. I don't like that.
When you were a little kid, did you ever used to jump off like the steps? Like there was steps going up or down, and you would try to jump like. I could jump 20 steps or 10 steps or whatever.
A little bit, but not. I got over that quick.
Well, imagine though, there's guys jumping 20 steps, and he doesn't want to do 2 steps anymore. That doesn't. There's no challenge to it. It doesn't feel like anything. There's no excitement.
I grew up in a black household. Nigga, jump on that motherfucker again. Aries, let me hear you thump one more time, nigga. I'm gonna come in there and whip your ass. Mama didn't play that.
We did it outside on the concrete steps.
Yeah, see, that's that. But again, that's y'all's history. Y'all went from concrete steps to jumping off roofs and on ping pong tables.
Dude, that's my Mexican side of the family that we did that.
Really?
Yeah, man. And I wouldn't. I could only jump like 3. I was scared. These guys were jumping like all the way down because you don't have to go that far out. You're just going all. But that drop. But that's what they need. They need that. They need that feeling. They need that.
But listen, since we're talking about being smart with money, here's something that kind of shocked me a little bit. Because as I'm looking to invest, one of my goals is I want to buy some apartment buildings that I could rent out. And and real estate is never considered risky. But then they went on to say in the thing, it was like, why make investments on things that are considered risky? A car wash, a restaurant. Now, I've always heard the restaurant business is a finicky business. And I said, as opposed to safe stocks like Disney, Apple, McDonald's, real estate, and like the saying goes, buy land because God ain't making any more of it. But then there were a couple parts in the special where they said that like a McDonald's or a franchise is a risky investment.
Well,
how is a McDonald's risky?
Well, there's not the profitability in McDonald's, you're only making it in those franchises like that. You're making 5 cents on every dollar that you bring in. So you have to sell a lot of dollars.
If you own the franchise?
You own that franchise.
Because I looked it up. To buy a McDonald's, to get in, $500,000. But I'm thinking it's a McDonald's.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Well, if you don't have the right location, if you don't have the right management team in place.
Right.
Because the margin's thin. If you're looking at 95% is going to go to the cost of being open and to the franchise fees. Your inventory, whatever you have, labor, that's 95 cents of that goes to that. You're making 5 cents.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you something. Like, even hearing you explain this, because this is news to me, and this is what they don't teach you in school. I hate feeling dumb. I feel dumb right now.
No, I read about it. That's the only reason I know about it. I read an article about McDonald's and with the breakdown of profit and franchises in general, because I've always wanted to do, I mean, I've been involved in businesses throughout my life, and I've been in the restaurant business, which they said is risky, and it is because you need to be there basically 24 hours a day to run a restaurant, and you have to have a good management team. And what happens to athletes, especially, or any novice that comes into the restaurant business, when you have a lot of money and someone says, I got this great idea for a restaurant, we're going to put your name on it, we're going to do all that, and you give them the money to open that restaurant up, unless they're vested into that,
Right.
they aren't going to spend the amount of time that needs to into that business to make that business work, because it is seriously an 80-hour-a-week job to own a restaurant until you can blow it up, and then you can hire more people to watch it, but you have to be there in the beginning all the time. And when you give someone $500,000 to open up a place, or $1 million to open up a place, and their money isn't invested in it, and they're the star of that show, well, they have other things to do besides manage your business. They want to be the star of the show. So that's where a lot of these businesses go wrong. Plus, just the business is tough in itself. So that's why it's risky, especially for people that are just giving out money to people that don't have any vested interest in it.
Right. They came across one dude, and his name was William Tank Black, and he was a financial advisor. Major red flag. Any nigga with a nickname, don't make your financial advisor. William Tank, and he was black, but William Tank Black. No. Go with a Berg, or a Steen, or a Stein, and they could be crooks too, but William Tank Black, no.
Dude, you got to go with people that are educated and have worked in positions that allow you opportunity. It has nothing to do with that last name.
It does a little bit.
My accountant's a black dude.
I'm not saying the race. I'm saying the nickname.
Oh, the nickname.
The nickname.
But you said a Berg or a Stein.
No, but I'm saying they could be crooks too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I'm playing on the stereotype of race, but it's really about the nickname. Because I'm talking about professionalism. You don't have a nickname, dude. Be a professional. Go with a name. Because look, there was a lot of reputable, solid brothers on that special who were financial advisors. So that was just me being funny.
Okay.
But nah, nigga, I'm not going with JJ Cool Breeze Jackson as my financial advisor. If your name is JJ Jackson, I'll listen to you. But if Cool Breeze is in the middle, nah, nigga.
Well, it's interesting too, because there are financial advisors. There's also money management people that really manage your money, and there is a money management team. It's black owned. This money management team.
Right.
But this is the other issue. If you're only going to clear $600,000, you don't fall in line with that team. They're not going to manage. That's not enough money.
Right.
People don't. You hear 600,000, you think, okay, well maybe I'll go to this big money management team. You don't have enough money to enter the door. So there's a process to this. I told you, and I'm going to stick with this. Money can be a problem.
We'll agree to disagree. It's only a problem if you let it be a problem.
You have to know how to manage.
That to me falls in line close with the saying, guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people. A gun is useless unless the motherfucker holding it is a problem. And if he's a problem, then the gun is a problem. Money is what it is unless you don't know how to fuck with it. If you're silly with it, dumb with it, you mismanage it, it could be a problem for you. But if you do what you're supposed to do, how could it be a problem? It's a great thing.
Because most people don't know how to manage it and put it
then
together.
that's your fault. That's the individual's fault.
But when money comes, it comes with responsibilities and issues and problems.
Only if you don't do the right thing.
How many people don't pay their taxes right and end up with problems?
But the point is, you're in a position where you can pay your taxes. Now, if you don't pay them, that's on you. I just saw a thing where on the internet where it was talking about 9 rappers who you didn't know were broke. 2 of which was Wayne and Birdman. And some of the things these niggas would do. renting a $30,000 a month mansion. Why? Why?
I don't know why, but
You're chartering a private jet to go everywhere you go. Why?
But I'm splitting hairs with you on this because I'm saying money is something. Money can bite you if you don't handle it right. Like
if you just say what you said.
If you don't handle it right, but you have to know how to handle it. So if you don't know how to handle it, you need to get help handling it. That's why that's the problem with money.
Right.
It's not it's not just I have this. It's not a painting, a Picasso painting that you're going to put on your wall and it's just going to go up in value. But if you bought a Picasso painting, you also have to know what room to put it in. You have to make sure light doesn't hit it a certain. The UV rays isn't hitting your painting and devaluating it because it's fading the painting. So everything has Let's change the name of it from problem. Everything has a responsibility, and it's your job to get to the level of responsibility to take care of it. Would that be better for you? Responsibility is a better word than problem.
Yeah, but that's a given. That's a given.
But it's not a given because we're human and we do things. You know that if you fuck someone without a condom, you might get them pregnant.
Might.
How come there's so many people that get pregnant?
Because they don't pull out.
Because it's a problem. You wouldn't think.
Wait a minute. You mean fuck somebody with a condom and they might get pregnant?
No. Without a condom, we know. Yeah, we know we're supposed to wear it.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't happen. Same with money.
Yeah, they get pregnant because you don't pull out.
You have to be responsible.
Yeah, that's called being responsible. Pull out, nigga. Pull out. The pull out success ratio is pretty 99.9. This shit made me laugh, dude. Baller alert. Remember that?
What was it?
The girl that ran the Baller Alert company.
Yeah.
This is legalized prostitution. Yeah. And basically, she said if you were a big time wealthy athlete, wait. Okay, here's my question I wanted to ask you. Okay, yeah. Anyway, Baller Alert.
I love this though.
Chicks would get notifications on their phone. Yo, so-and-so is at this club. And she told the one story where Michael Jordan was at a club and a Baller Alert went out. She said 1,000 women showed up to try to snatch MJ.
Yeah.
This is legalized hoes.
How many people did she say she had on that were paying for this membership?
I forget, but it was high.
It was a big number.
Wow. Wow. Here's my question to you. If you're a big time wealthy athlete and you met your wife to be at a club and y'all later got married, have kids, have a wonderful life, and at some point later in the marriage, she admits to you that she met you through Baller Alert. Like, you don't know this until she tells you. You just thought she showed up, y'all happened to meet, and everything was happily ever after. But she says to you, no, I got the alert, I knew you was there, and I purposely sought you out. Does that change the dynamic of the relationship?
I don't know because...
Are you mad at her because now you're going, oh, you legalized hoe. You came at me for the money.
You know, like when they said that about Jordan, there was 1,000 women.
Right.
He still had to choose between those 1,000 women.
Yes.
That came out. So you picked that chick anyway.
Yeah, but don't you also go, she came here because she got the alert, and that alert is for women with an agenda.
Yeah.
Now, you're my wife. I love you. We got a beautiful family. I felt like I met my soulmate, so fuck it don't matter. Or, you dirty bitch.
At that point, when I have the kids and the whole thing, and life
You're
is
happy.
good, yeah, I'm happy she did it.
You don't care?
It worked out. But later, when that relationship doesn't work out, yeah, then she was that bitch. Yeah. But if it works out, I mean, like anything, you see these shows where they go on 20 women and the guy and what is it, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Right. I mean, isn't that kind of the same thing? You're looking for someone.
But we know that's a fake show.
Yeah.
You know.
Kind of. Yeah.
Listen, and I've always said, I don't blame women for wanting nice things. Everybody wants nice things. That whole idea that women are materialistic to me is some bullshit. Everybody's materialistic. Who don't like nice shit? And if a dude likes nice shit, it's in a woman's natural vaginal DNA to like nice shit.
It depends if you're putting nice shit above what you need in real life. Like, would you... If there's two women and you're attracted to both of them, but one is kind to you gives you what you need. I hate to put it into like a woman, but it reciprocates everything that you need. And the other one is better looking.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she even fucks you a little bit better. But the other one does everything for you and loves you loves everything that's even horrible about you. And the other one,
but she's not that great looking.
She's not as great looking.
Dude, I think that's the right thing for me to say. Is go for the one that treats you all that. And what you're saying is important. But I think there's always a layer of shallowness to human beings. And we want something that looks good too.
Yeah, but
listen, the electrical cars are better for the earth. It's better for the environment. But they look like shit.
No, I like that Tesla. I rode one the other day.
If you're a baller and you're a young dude and you're even a middle-aged man who has a middle-life crisis.
Yeah, I get it.
They all get the Lamborghini and the Ferrari and the Maybachs and the Rolls Royces. It looks good. And it's, it's prestige. If they made electric cars that look like that, we'd all rush to do electric. But electric cars look like,
Porsche's having an all-electric car coming out this year. I get what you're saying, but it's against you. It works against you to do what you just said, because you said the shallowness. Eventually, the person who looks good isn't always going to look that great, and when they're not treating you right, they cease to look as good as they did. The person who takes care of you, the one who loves your flaws, that one's going to take care of you. That one's going to make you. This is where, and the reason I brought it up is this is how we are with everything. When you put priorities, like I need that gold chain because I'm going to look good, versus my bank account's going to look good. The bank account isn't sexy like the chick isn't sexy. But what's going to get you through the hard times is the bank account, not the chain. The chick that does what you need her to do, but it isn't as sexy maybe as the other one. That one, the sexy one's not going to get you through any rough times.
But for the flip side, if we're being honest, just like you should go for the chick that probably isn't as attractive, but will do all the right things, is that woman with Tiger Woods, with Michael Jordan, with whoever because of him? Or is the shallowness the money? It's got to be, it's a little bit of the money.
It may be, but that you have to be responsible for yourself. You have to look at who that person is and what they're going to do. But I take that back, because to what I was really saying, what I was really trying to make that analogy to was your bank account isn't sexy.
Right.
The Lamborghini's sexy.
Right.
But what's going to get you through the hard times?
Got you. I hear you.
But it's hard for us to put our own ego, and this is all ego. The broke part is ego. The $30,000 a month mansion is ego.
Listen, I said this on Vlad TV. The motherfucker who plays in the NBA or professional sport, who's got on the Armani suit and the gold and the diamonds and the obvious and drives the Ferrari, to a woman, that's sexy. The richest motherfucker who ain't sexy is the nigga that invented the toaster. He got all the money.
Yeah.
But that's not sexy to a bitch.
But you're going to find it doesn't.
What you can't see,
yeah.
What's not obvious, sometimes be the where the diamond is.
Right.
But again, because it's not obvious, what's to draw you in? What's to make you want to do that?
COVID. But what you're saying,
I like that, like almost like when you throw a fake jump shot.
Yeah.
Kobe. COVID.
Just to get people back up from you. No, I agree with what you're saying, but that's where your ego has to get out of your way. Your ego has to get out of your way, because if that girl was only attracted to you because of your chain and your ride and where you live in, then is that the girl you really want though? But that may be your only choices at a certain point in your life when you reach a certain level. That may be those might be your only choices, because everybody already knows that.
Right.
But I think it's a tough life for an athlete who has fame. And they talked about this too. A football player may want to throw a little bit more of their ego around because their face isn't on TV like a basketball player or a baseball player's face is. So when you walk down the street and you're a football player, you just might be some big dude. when a basketball player walks down the street and he's towering over most, because even the shortest people on basketball teams are 6'1",
Right.
6'2".
Right.
So they still, even at 6'1", 6'2", you're still taller than most people.
Right.
But if you're 6'8", 6'10", you stand out, and then they seen you on TV. That's a whole different look.
Right.
So your ego, maybe you don't need as much ego when you're in that situation.
Right. Speaking of which, since we're here in Orlando, I didn't know it. I mean, I really didn't know who he was.
Dikembe?
No. One of the players from the Orlando Magic was at our show.
Well, yeah, who was it?
He was a tall dude, and when he was leaving, he gave me a nod, like, good show. And he was tall, but I didn't associate. His name was the Real Mobamba. Plays for the Orlando Magic.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know the Magic players.
Who does?
People here.
They don't know the niggas. Niggas terrible. Okay, let me get back to what I want to say. And again, women, you know, I love y'all, but y'all can be some slick, dirty hoes. Tiger Woods' wife said the $100 million she received will not put her family back together or buy back that happiness. Well, if that's the case, bitch, don't take the money. Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, I love when some of these women, again, try to validate their bullshit. Like with the divorce, oh, the $100 million won't put my family back or give me the happiness I once had with Tiger. Well, then why take the money then?
Because she has the kids to take care of. I'm not justifying her $100 million. Here's what I'm saying though. All she was saying is, if she could give back the money and have what she had before.
You think she'd do that?
Yeah.
That reminds me of that joke Joan Rivers did after 9/11, when she goes, all the widows, you know, they received a lot of money on behalf of their dead husbands. And she said, prior to the money, the widows was like, oh, I miss my Harry. I would do anything to have Harry back. Then the check comes. Oh, Harry, you'll be missed. So it's like, you know, come on, man.
There's stain to it, you know. You get a little something out of it, but you don't think that she would have that same $100 million and have Tiger and have her family. You don't think that's why she got married and had kids, and to someone who had $100 million. She got the whole package. Now she had to break up the package, and she doesn't have the. So
unless Tiger was like, "Yo, I don't want you back," if she really wanted that, you don't think she could go to Tiger and go, "Let's reconcile, get our family back"? Do you think if that's what she really wanted?
Okay, let's go this one. If that relationship was never going to heal, though, if she was never going to be able to forgive him, if he looked at her and because of everything that fell apart for him afterwards was never going to forgive her for how things went down, then why would you want to get back together? Because you're not going to get that same relationship again.
Listen, it's easier to not want to have to go back when you know I've cashed my chips in. I don't need you now. I got the $100 million.
But then in your head, you're thinking the only reason she married him, had kids with him, is because he was
part of it. Part of it. That's what I'm saying when you go, yo, would you rather have the good-looking trophy wife, da-da-da-da-da, or the chick that don't look as good, but will treat you? The right thing to say is the chick that'll treat you, but the shallow part in you goes, man, you see that bitch's titties? Bitch look good. Vice versa. The right thing for her to do is go, it's about him, the love for him. But if he wasn't Tiger Woods, $100 million, you'd feel that exact same way? There's a little lie on both ends.
Well, I don't. Is it a lie or is it
a little bit?
When you enter, there's certain rooms that this is unsaid, but there's certain rooms we all enter. You have $100 million, you enter a different room than other people, and there's other and let's be honest. This is not going to go well, but let's be honest. There's women that enter that room because of how they're either their family background or their looks.
Baller alert!
A supermodel gets into the room.
Okay, point taken. Yeah,
but that's up to the dude to find that she has it in her to be worthwhile to lay all.
But you know what the first thing? But you know what the first thing the dude sees when he sees her? Not is she worthwhile? A supermodel.
Yeah.
That's the allure.
But that's your ego again. Your ego wants to walk down the street with the supermodel because it validates who you are.
Yeah. Show me a motherfucker who's completely separate from his ego.
It's impossible, and that's the hard part. But I mean, what do you want at the end of the day? You want to sleep with someone who wants to be in that room, or someone who sleeps with you because they like your bank account?
A little bit of both. I don't down a woman for wanting nice things, wanting the best. I don't down a woman for liking nice shit. You know, as long as that's not your, that's not what dominates you. Like
That's not your sole motivation.
Yeah, but I don't blame you for like what woman doesn't want to have the best? What you know what I mean?
But there's women that can support you in a way that you want to achieve and you continue to achieve, and don't put their needs. They don't put their needs above your overall family's needs. Versus women that just want what they want.
Right.
And the only reason I'm saying this is this way for the women that hear this, and I hope women would admit this, there are still women out there that have access to a look or something that's very appealing to men, and they use that for their benefit. They move men because men, because of our ego, are easily manipulated by that. Not all men, but a lot of men. Not all women do it, but the women who can do.
Right.
So let's face facts of what it is.
Right.
But still, our weakness as a man is our ego. Because
And by ego, you mean dick and balls.
Nah, dick and balls, but our ego is who we are. Our ego gets in our way. If you had a woman that fucked you good, sucked your dick, whatever you wanted done, took care of you, kept your house the way you want to, raised kids the way that you wanted kids raised, communicated with you in a way that was you, and decisions were made that benefited the family, and everything was wonderful about this woman. But she wasn't good looking. That's your ego going, I'd rather have the one that's good looking to validate me because I can get this as my person can get this because I am that great. But you're not getting anything. You're getting wrapping paper.
I wish somebody could have just walked behind us right now and just really quickly yelled out, "That bitch don't exist!"
They do.
Jason Caffey. Remember him? Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
They said he had 9 different baby mamas, which means 9 child support payments. Here's what blew me away. What 9 bitches wanted to fuck Jason Caffey? St. Pippen, St. Jordan. 9 bitches fuck Jason Caffey?
Okay, but I get this too. This is why guys' ego shouldn't get in their
Not even Horace Grant.
No.
Jason Caffey.
But when you play in the NBA, this is why your ego shouldn't get in your way. You already are at an elite level. You are one of the few people to play in this game.
Yeah, but there's levels to this.
There
are the janitors of the NBA, and there are the motherfuckers that own the building.
But those levels are imaginary. They don't really exist because, as you said, there's janitors in the NBA, and then there's janitors in real life.
Right.
Which janitor do you want to be? If you're the janitor in real life, you have a job that you are probably not particularly care for that job. No one grew up going, I want to be the janitor. Now, I'm not knocking anybody who's a janitor. You have to get paid. More power to you. You do what you need to do to get your money.
Right.
What I'm saying is, if you're the janitor in the NBA, you're above every position in sports other than the other sports. You have entered a very small community.
Right.
Someone has to be the janitor in that community, but to be a janitor in that community is a pretty prestigious place to be. But people forget that just because you come off the bench, you're still only one of 200. How many players? No,
I don't know what the number is.
No, it's more than that. I don't even know what the number is. But it's a low number to be in that league is an amazing thing. I don't know why you have to. I do know why, because I've been there, not in playing in the NBA, but where you want people to know, where you want to flex a little bit, but you don't. That's your ego,
dude. They said Evander Holyfield had 11 kids. Listen, and here's what I don't get. Everybody knows kids are expensive. At what point do you go, let me stop fucking. And when you're poor and you know kids are expensive, how the fuck do you have an African village of children? Like, at what point do you go, these motherfuckers is expensive, I need to stop fucking? Or oh, you know what made me say that? I was rewatching The Last Dance, episode 2, Scottie Pippen. He said, my parents had 11 kids and we were poor. By child 4 and you're poor, you just keep fucking? Stop fucking. How are you pushing out all these kids into poverty? That's fucked up. And Evander was rich, but that shit caught up to him. All them child support payments, and you saw his mansion in Atlanta. It was a museum. Now gone.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But that's all from early times, people had large families. I guess there was nothing else to do.
Okay, but times have changed. Motherfuckers is expensive.
Not everybody changed.
Clearly.
Obviously.
Clearly. I think that's my last note. Yeah, I think Sean Kemp is another one. Boatload of babies. That child support is a motherfucker. And as much as I talk about pussy and love pussy, nigga.
I don't understand a lot of kids. When I had my 2,
Right.
I was dating a girl that I thought I had stepped up on that. I got something probably it was above what I was supposed to pull.
Right.
She was great. I really cared for this person, but she wanted to have kids, and I did not want to have another. I said until I could take care of my kids the way that I want to take care of them,
financially.
I'm not going to have more. But now, my kids are growing, and sometimes I look back at it fondly, like I wish I could have done more stuff with them, but I didn't have the financial means not to work the way that I did. So I don't know how you could want to have. I like giving attention to my kids. I like being in the moment with my kids. I don't even understand how it would be to have 11 kids. Like, how do you?
Again, I think that's too much. But I could see you doing that if you can afford it. Which goes back to what you said. Responsibility. That's irresponsible, and that's on you if you do that knowing you can't afford it. Because, listen, if you had, even if you had 11 kids by one woman, God bless her uterus, but if it don't work out, that's still 9 child support payments. So, because I was going to say 9 different women, but whether it's different women or one woman, it's not about the amount of women, it's about the amount of kids. Be responsible. That's not money's fault, that's your fault.
I knew a guy who was, he was a really good friend of mine in high school. His dad was a mailman. They had 11 kids. Happy family. One woman.
My nigga was delivering on Sunday. Okay. We want to break this up?
Yeah.
Okay, because we still have to talk about the final episode of the Comedy Store. I kind of felt like this might take up the whole hour.
The Comedy Store part? Or?
No, this.
Well, how much do you have on the Comedy Store?
A couple of notes.
Do you want to just do it? Yeah, let's
just bang it out?
Yeah.
All right, fuck it.
You guys get extra.
Extra meat! Extra meat for you babies, you see? All right. Comedy Store. I got my notes up under here. Comedy Store. Yeah, I don't even have that many notes.
Yeah, this was the last one, episode 5.
I want to talk about real quick because I put you on to it last night. The Dave Chappelle monologue.
Okay, yeah.
For Saturday Night Live, the new monologue. But you hadn't seen it. You didn't even know about it.
No, I didn't even. I really didn't know.
Yeah, I found out late that he hosted it again.
Yeah.
And again, power of Dave. When you get to be at that level, you get to smoke on television.
Yeah.
Light up a cigarette on television. Listen, y'all have heard me say it a gazillion million times. I'm a Dave Chappelle hooer. And I don't ever have anything bad to say about Dave, but I remember one time on a podcast, you were saying you didn't like the thing where Dave would slap his knee with the mic.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I finally found something out about Dave I'm not digging. And first, as always, let me give this nigga his stripes. He is the baddest motherfucker in comedy. of our generation. He's up there with Pryor, Murphy. His work ethic is beyond ridiculous. But I've noticed Dave does this thing now, where whenever he finishes a show or a set, he slams the mic down. Like, motherfucker, I'm the king. And listen, let's be honest, he wasn't the first dude to do that. Eddie Murphy did it first on Delirious when he performed at Lincoln Center or Lincoln Hall or whatever that theater was. Chris Rock would do it every now and then. But, you know, that's become, I think, a little bit of Dave's signature. It's like, you just saw the king, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And most times, I go, bravo. And nigga earned it. I didn't feel like his monologue, not to say it wasn't funny and partly genius, but to me it wasn't that. And he did that, and I kind of felt that was ego-ish.
See, I took it completely different because I thought it was great because I don't think this was aimed at you. I think this was aimed at white America. He told white America off.
Okay, but he always delivers to white America.
Not like this. He told them exactly what was wrong with them.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody tell all of white America in a way that he did. And he even said that he was doing it. You had to, when he said, I can't even tell you something, I forgot what the word was. I can't even tell you a truth without putting a punchline on it. Something in that. He let you know that there was everything he was saying was true now. And he said exactly what he wanted to say. I thought it was genius. I thought it was stretching the art form of comedy in another way, again, stretching it again. And that's what I find. We've done this. Comedians have done it. You know what? As we go, I don't want to shit on my job or any comics.
Don't shit on any comics, but you can shit on the job. It shits on you sometimes.
Okay, let's shit on the job a little bit. We're all comics trying to get our message out and our words out, and we're all going to different cities. And not all comedy's big. I mean, there's a lot of clubs that we never do.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all going to the cities, and we're trying to talk to people in the cities and trying to tell them our point of view. And we're telling them our point of view in our structure, but it's all a very similar structure. Dave, I think, has really found a way that he's going outside of the structure as we know it and blowing it up. And looking for where comedy goes next. And I'm not saying other comics aren't doing that. And maybe because Dave is at that level, he is, like you say, he's the comic of our generation without a doubt. And maybe because he has more attention and you can see what he's doing, where maybe there's other comics that are doing something similar and we're not seeing it as much because they're not in that position. But I love that he stretches it like that. And I love that he used it and in his way told us, I have to put a punchline on my truth. And then he told the truth. And that's what I thought was genius about it.
Right. Look, I guess part of me is feeling like coming off the heels of what Bill Burr did, which I thought
that was genius too.
Class A shit, man.
Stretched it again, but he only stretched it towards really white women. White America a little bit, but white women.
But here's the difference though, in terms of why I think Bill's shined a little bit more. I think white audiences expect black comics to do that because we do it. We always go, here America, here white America, this is our truth. This is what we go through. This is who you are. If you feel uncomfortable out of guilt, for whatever reason, just makes you feel uncomfortable, we have to show this to you. So, like Patrice said in Elephant in the Room, yeah, I'm white, I am evil, I know. White people expect it. They don't expect a white guy to make them see themselves. And when a white guy does it, the way Bill Burr does it, it's even more uncomfortable because it's almost like the audacity. How dare you? We know the brothers are going to do that, and to some degree, they've earned that right. But you? And the fact that a white dude showed white people them,
yeah,
I thought it was brilliant. I hadn't seen that before.
But I felt instead of just showing the audience them, Dave said how he felt about them. I don't know. I mean, I think they're both structurally as a comedic, I'm in awe of what they were doing, both of them, what they were doing at that moment.
Right.
I'm in awe of them telling their story exactly the way that they wanted to. You said something to me that you felt Bill's felt more polished than Dave's did.
Yeah, it felt like Dave was working it out.
But that's Dave's style because he works things out and he moves on, and he might have 2 more hours after this in a month.
Well, he works things out, but when it's the special, when it's time, when it's in front of a camera, it's polished.
Yeah, but I know Bill was working on that for a little while. I don't know how long, because Dave's been throwing things out constantly. So I don't know how much. Now, I do know, obviously, he was in Ohio, and he was doing all those shows every week.
Right.
So I don't know how much time he put into those shows, to that monologue. I still felt it was genius. And maybe I'm taking it in a different way because I'm looking at the genius behind it without just the laughter and the comedy. The comedy itself, the genius about it, the way he structured it, the way he set it up, the way he told you that thing about I have to have a punchline behind my truth.
Right.
Just to tell my truth. And he didn't put a lot of punchlines in there.
And that's probably what I'm going. That's why, because he didn't put a lot of punchlines in there. And like, listen, when you go, I'll put a punchline behind my truth. Well, we all do that.
Yeah.
That's the formula.
Yeah.
But the punchlines part didn't warrant. That to me is what was missing. It didn't have that.
I got you on that. You know, all white club owners hate when black dudes drop the mic on the stage.
Yeah, because we make them have to buy a new one. Yeah. The Comedy Store. Brian Holtzman, that plane luggage joke at the end where he goes, you know how hard it is to receive your luggage, get your luggage after a plane crashes? And the audience was uncomfortable. And he was staring at them, and it was an uncomfortable, awkward length of time. And he followed it up with, I'm going to butcher this, but God, I wish I could get it right because it was so great how he said it. Basically, I'm going to just stand here and stare at you until one of us, something about addressing how uncomfortable it was.
Until you're as uncomfortable as I am.
Or some shit like that. And first of all, I thought the joke was funny.
Dude, I think, you know me and death. And anything that can kill you, I think is funny as fuck. That was one of the most genius jokes I've ever heard. You know how hard it is to get your luggage after a plane crash?
Right. And just the stoic look he had on his face as he was staring out into the crowd like he knew he did something wrong, but he didn't give a fuck, but he knew he was caught. But he had the arrogance to not give a fuck even though he was caught. And it was beautifully played, man.
Dude, I love that joke, man. And I was like, that's who Holtzman is, man. And he doesn't back down from that from anybody. He'll walk a complete room without giving a fuck.
Yeah. Joey Diaz, in terms of political correctness, I love when he said, there's no rules in art. That's why I'm telling you, all you would-be up-and-coming comedians who waste your time and your money listening to club owners who give comedy classes and tell you shit like, if you're a woman, you should dress this way. Fuck out of here with that. There are no rules in art. The only rule is be an artist. Paint. If you're a painter, paint. Don't let motherfuckers tell you how to paint, what brushes to use, what colors go together. It's subjective. It's abstract. Paint. See, it's your interpretation.
I disagree with this a little bit.
Oh!
No, only this part. Is that some people might need the class because just to get themselves onto the stage. Because the idea of walking into... Most people have to start like in a bar room. Where, like, most open mics are in a bar room.
Okay.
You go to the bar room... And you don't even know who to talk to, how to start, where, you know, I get the mic. It's so funny when you watch someone try to get the mic out for the first time. I mean, it's just little things are ridiculously funny. You've never seen people miss the mic? Or this part comes off and they don't know what to do?
You're an idiot.
I've seen it happen. You know.
If you grab the mic and this part comes off and you don't know what to do.
But it's your first time on stage. You're already nervous. You get nervous, and now you got to.
My first time fucking, I knew where to put it.
You weren't nervous though.
Yeah, but I knew where to put it.
Did you come soon?
That's neither here nor there. I'm coming soon now.
All I'm saying is there's little things that can help some people. I didn't need that, but some people do need that. And I'm not saying that, and I'm saying in art, especially like you brought up painting, there's rules to painting. The rule that you need to understand when to become an artist is to know why you're breaking the rule.
Why are you breaking the rule?
Because that's the direction you want to take this art form.
Exactly. So if you're breaking the rule, there is no rule.
But sometimes if you don't know what it is, you don't have the right structure for what you want to do. It is good to know what you're supposed to be doing. Now in comedy, I don't think there is a supposed to know. I really don't think that there is. This is still one of the newest art forms, even though it's not that new.
I guarantee you, if you were to bring up any of the greatest names in comedy, the legends, the best, the geniuses, not near one of them went to a class, ever.
There's comics that are very popular right now that I know went to classes.
Very popular is not genius. Very popular is not legendary.
Okay, but
Very popular is not naturally talented.
Let's go to what stand-up comedy is, though, the art form. The people who are laying down and basically coming out with rules is a bad word, who set up the original structure are within our time to touch. We know people that worked with them. We know people that, Moms Mabley is probably the originator from this form that we do of stand-up comedy.
Right.
She's not far away from us. She's only 2 generations away. So if you know someone from the last generation, you know someone that's probably worked with her.
Right.
Or worked with the people around her at that time. So it's still in its infancy. This is still very new.
I know, but what's your point with Moms Mabley, though?
They set up the structure. So right now in this art form, it's still very wide open. And as you look at when you said what did you say, geniuses or the
legends?
The legends have just folded. This is only 3 folds of legends.
But what's the structure?
Well, there's setup, punch.
Okay, that's basic shit. You know that.
Yeah.
That's any joke, but don't boom.
Yeah.
Setup, punchline, but don't boom. That's not
setup, twist, punch. But little things help people get on stage.
All the things that matter, callbacks, instinct,
timing.
You can't teach that. You're born with that. You don't teach timing. You don't teach instinct. You don't teach the know-how and the genius and the wit to know when to bring in a callback. That's instinct. That's guttural.
Yeah.
That's mind.
I'm not okay.
No one can teach you that.
I still look at it. Offensive linemen. In a few generations before this that were playing football, there was just big guys that were protecting the quarterback. This has evolved where there is technique to doing that position.
I don't
There's
know
way
if that's
you
a good
move your
analogy.
feet.
That's a whole different ball game, literally.
We are growing more though. I think that I don't think it, like I said, I don't think it's necessary at all for you to take class. I'm just not against someone who wants to try it and is afraid to start and doesn't know where to start. I don't think that's a horrible place to try.
Why not get your ass right on stage?
Some people don't have those.
You don't have the guts.
Yeah.
Well, then now you don't deserve to be a comedian.
There's plenty of people that have taken classes though that you're looking at today.
And that are great comics?
That are good comics. They're doing well.
Name some.
I think Sebastian took the class.
Sebastian Maniscalco?
Yeah, I think he took the class.
I would love to know that if that's a fact.
I'm not positive he took the class. I think he took the class. There's a lot of comics that came out of the store that took the Mitzi's daughter's class. A lot of comics.
Where she was teaching stand-up?
Yeah.
I would love to know.
It was a way for them to get into the store as well.
Well, then that's probably more of what it was.
I'm just saying it was there.
I know what you're saying, but when you're as legendary,
if I'm wrong about Sebastian, I apologize. I thought that was one of the names that I read.
When you're as legendary as the Comedy Store, and you see the alumni that's associated with that place, you'll do whatever it takes to get in. If I gotta take a class, if I gotta work the door, if I gotta take out the trash, I'm talking about Midwest, somewhere in some okey-doke town, feeling like you got to go to a class.
You're right. When you get into those, and when you get out there, there's nothing that anybody there is really going to teach you. But like Norm Macdonald talks about how he doesn't remove the microphone from the mic stand.
It's always been my style. I'm bleeding the Red Butler. No, go ahead.
Because he never felt comfortable taking the mic out of the stand.
Okay, all right, personal choice.
So he leaves it in there, but
and they try to teach you in a class. Always take the mic out and move it to the side
so that it's not in your way, like it's really blocking you.
And he keeps it there. Why? He's an artist. There are no rules.
He figured out how to make that work in his set. You can make it work, but if you know that you're supposed to move it back there, and for a certain piece you decide to move it up front, then you know why you're doing it.
Okay.
I'm not saying. You're right. I don't think you can really teach someone how to be funny, but someone who's not funny can go up 1,000 times and learn how to be funny. Can learn how to tell a joke.
Listen,
I'm not saying they're going to be the greatest.
There are kids who know how to tell a joke.
Yeah.
But let's raise the bar.
Yeah. Well, now there's hundreds of people, hundreds of thousands of people.
What do you
who
call
want
a
to be
blind dinosaur? Or did you see us Rex? Did you see us Rex? Okay, that's a joke.
Yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm also saying that there's still room for that if that's what someone needs to be able to get up on stage.
Right. My last thing is this. I was flabbergasted that Comedy Store would do a documentary about the Comedy Store and about Mitzi's children and not have Paul Mooney. How dare they? What was the dude that did it? Brian the Minder?
Binder.
I'd like to know, what were
Michael
you thinking, dude?
Maybe he didn't want to do it right now.
Who didn't want to do it right now?
Maybe Mooney didn't want to do it.
Why?
Mooney isn't 100% healthy right now. I don't know.
I would think, I don't know. I think you gotta do something. Even if you don't.
His name was brought up when they talked about Richard being there.
Yeah, I know his name was brought up, but that's not enough. Paul Mooney is a staple of the Comedy Store legend. And even if his health was such that he couldn't do it, well, then do a segment about him the way you did Sam Kinison.
I think, though, that they put Mooney and Pryor in one.
No, you can't do that.
I think that's what they did, though.
I think that was wrong. You can't do that. Come on, man. As much as Letterman, Williams, Roseanne were staples, Mooney was a staple.
Yeah,
you had to give Mooney a segment. How could you not?
Well, in all fairness, Jimmy Walker was pivotal to there,
and they gave him a segment,
but not like a full, like blown out one like other.
But they did him justice.
Yeah,
you got to do Mooney justice.
That's an interesting question, though. I wonder if it is because of the Mooney.
Nigga, you know what it is. You know goddamn well what it is. Them motherfucking crackers have been trying to eliminate me forever. I told you, Mitzi is the mother. I am the father of the goddamn Comedy Store. My DNA is everywhere, nigga. Even as you ate your cheeseburger, you tasted Mooney. I was in the dishwasher. I was in the sink. I was in the offices. I was everywhere. The Comedy Store is painted black because of me. I'm the blackest nigga in comedy. Why do you think that store is black? The woman who ran it was white, but the store was black, nigga. How about that shit?
So why don't you do the Mooney documentary?
Nigga, if they call me, I will do it. But chances are they will not, because Aries and I are the same nigga. We are the same nigga. They don't motherfucker with me. And they know that nigga. You know it's real. Sit next to this white Jew man. You should have called and made the call for me. This white Jew's a white Jew. He can get anything done. He always acts like he can't get shit done. This nigga knows better. God damn it. Fucking Paul Mooney. I created that goddamn Comedy Store. All those white people running around. All those white names on there. Please. Please. If you took a searchlight and put it on that motherfucker, nigga is written all over that goddamn Comedy Store.
Do you think that for all the black names that are on the wall, they should have put like a white strip and then wrote their name in black?
Yes, nigga. Yes. The black gene is far stronger. You niggas know this. Richard, you gave Richard his respect, but you didn't give me my goddamn respect. Shit. That's all right. That's all right. When all of you die and go to heaven and find out that God is a nigga, he'll make amends.
You know, that's an interesting question for Binder that you should ask him because he was there when Mooney was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's write him. We'll write him an email and ask him.
All right, I think that's it, brother.
That is it.
Before we get to that, any sign-offs, any official things we got to do, any things we got to address?
No, I just thank those guys from Hits 101 for listening. I hope you stayed all the way through. And please check us out. We do have a Thursday episode, the email episodes. So if you're listening to us on Hits 101, why don't you go over to, on Apple. You go wherever you find your podcast. Just put in Spears and Steinberg, press subscribe, and you can pull up our Thursday episode.
And also give out all the new shit.
Okay,
out
yeah.
there,
Yeah, but I also want to let you know, sometimes in Aries and I have been doing this because we haven't been on the road regular. If something comes up, like we did the election podcast unannounced, and it was just dropped. If you subscribe to our podcast, that's going to come up and go into your phone immediately, or however you get your podcast. So definitely subscribe to us if you can. And also, all of our social media is Spearsburg Pod, and whatever you're listening to. So whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, there's a Spearsburg Pod. That's us. That's our official page now. So look us up. Facebook, we got a Spearsburg Pod as well. I have an old one that's on there. We're going to move everything over to Spearsburg Pod, so you can just go there from now on if you like to find out more about what's going on. Also, we'll be having our Patreon coming out, that's Spearsburg Pod too, isn't it?
Isn't it? I think so.
Yeah. And we're going to have different content up there coming up that's going to be worthwhile if you want to get in on our Patreon. So please check us out. I think that's it.
Okay. As always, up and coming artiste. This is Saladin. Well, I hope I'm saying it right. Saladin Obi. SoundCloud is SAL-O. Instagram is at SAL_O_fan_page. The Twitter is at Obi Saladin. I might be fucking up his last name. But anyway, at OBIE SALADINE. This is his song. I hope you enjoy. What's next? Are we already said what we're gonna be next, right?
Yeah, we're going to be in, don't forget, we're going to be in New Jersey at
Jersey!
the Stress Factory.
Exit 9! New Brunswick!
Yeah. And it's going to be outside in a tent. It's going to be cool. Still have to wear, your mask when you come in, but we're trying to. Vinny Brand's doing something kind of cool. I heard it was really good, so I can't wait to see it.
And I believe this song is called Catch a Vibe by Saladin Obi. Support my man if you like his shit. We out here, knuckle.
Saladin sounds like somebody to sprinkle on your salad.
Saladin, yeah.
Some Saladin.
Yeah, let me get a Caesar salad with a side of Saladin Obi. All right, enjoy.